Greetings and welcome to chapter 9. We're going to be taking a look today at the Shinto religion, uh, originating in Japan. This chapter will explore that as a religion of the Japanese people, but also one with close ties to the state and the imperial line. So in this chapter, we want to understand the nature and content of Shinto beliefs, understand the history and way of life of Shinto, to appreciate the continued relevance of Shinto in modern and contemporary Japan, and to appreciate the perennial value of Shinto among world religions. We'll get right into it here in the teachings of Shinto. The core belief of the religion is the animistic existence of kami, a power in nature and in the human world that inspires awe and fascination. And much of this belief is based on the ancient text of Kojik. It's a record of record of ancient matters. It was completed in early 1700s AD. I think 1712 is coming to mind, to be exact. The text contains a creation story that outlines the essential teachings of Shinto, the world, and specifically the Japanese archipelago was brought into existence by the union of a primordial pair of kami named Zanji and Azanami. Among the numerous offspring of the pair, some 8 million, the son, and in this story, a maiden with the name of Amaterasu, literally meaning that which shares in the sky. And it's the most glorious and resplendent. It would be her descendants with the name that would inhabit and rule Japan, thereby making the Japanese royalty divine. So the remainder of the Kojik story basically justifies the unbroken succession of the imperial line and the sacred origin of the aristocracy as well, since the court nobles are described as descendants of other minor kami who acknowledge the legitimacy and supremacy of Amaterasu's progeny. So thus, right from the beginning, Shinto is inextricably intertwined with the state and government in Japan. Also notable in the creation myth are other themes in Shinto teaching. As a nation, Japan is singularly blessed by the kami, hence her abundant fertility and beauty. Furthermore, the Shinto story contains few ethical or moral injunctions. There's no discourse on good and evil, right or wrong. Instead, the focus is on fertility and a phobic aversion to pollution. So both physical and spiritual pollution. Equally noteworthy is the feminist aspect of, or the feminine aspect. Let me just say the feminine aspect of Shinto, as the sun goddess addressed herself is obviously female, and she's decidedly the most important deity in the religion. The history of Shinto. In terms of its historical development, Shinto has three distinct stages. In the ancient period, specific objects, locations, and individuals were revered as awe-inspiring kami, and a kind of a spontaneous demonstration of submission and piety. And as the medieval period of Shinto dawned, it was mainly characterized by Shinto's reaction to and accommodation with Buddhism, which was imported into the country from China by way of Korea after the middle of the 6th century AD. So in the end, Shinto and Buddhism harmoniously worked out an agreement that essentially made them equals in caring for the spiritual needs of the Japanese through a division of labor, with Shinto in charge of matters pertaining to life and Buddhism addressing matters of death. Confucianism, as we looked at last chapter, is the third leg of this tripod, and that was responsible for matters of ethics and governance. The modern period of Shinto began with a reassertion of Shinto's supremacy over Buddhism, starting cautiously in the 14th century and reaching a high pitch by the 18th. Shinto partisans voiced their new view of Japan as a divine country and the superiority of the Japanese people over all others. The state, Shinto, was expressed most visibly in Japan's militaristic expansion, starting in the late 19th century, leading to numerous wars in the 20th century. So the defeat of Japan in 1945 resulted in an abandonment of the state Shinto in favor of a sect Shinto, namely the removal of state support for the Shinto establishment and the private practice of Shinto rites in shrines all over the country. Still, Shinto has set deep roots in the life of all Japanese and shapes Japanese behavior in mainly many daily routines. It remains a potent religious tradition, not only in Japan, but for all people who are awed by the potency and beauty of nature and the mysterious forces that populate the universe. Shinto as a way of life. Because of the tenets of the Shinto belief, its way of life is primarily focused on fertility and purification. Shinto believes in an unabashed pursuit of sexual fertility and agricultural bountifulness, if you will, while the main function of the Shinto shrine and the priesthood is to provide sanctification to all worldly and spiritual undertakings. So the daily life of the Shinto believer also involves constant attentiveness to cleanliness and purity, while all pollution and defilement is meticulously avoided. Shinto religious observances throughout the year reflect this dual concern for fertility and purification. So Shinto is the longest surviving religious tradition in Japan. Again, its concern with fertility and purity, as well as its love of nature and beauty, has given much meaning and purpose to Japanese life, and it continues to inform Japanese behavior in daily life. So that is a wrap on Shinto. Again, as always, check the things to know out. Link and module in the weekly weekly web page or weekly course page, and accompany that with the readings, the things to know section, and accompany that with the lecture, of course. Next time we will look at a lesser known religion, Zoroastrianism, and one of the first monotheistic religions. So until then, have a fantastic one. Bye-bye.